Entrepreneurship is the best of both worlds, and I'm here today to tell you about how you can be your own boss inside of an organization, not have the stress of entrepreneurship, but still have the autonomy and flexibility of entrepreneurship. Ashley, I'm the lead mentor with Mentor Me, and I am a professional career coach and career strategist for professional women. One of the things that I constantly hear from women is that they want more autonomy, more flexibility, and more control over their own career. There is nothing more frustrating than being micromanaged, being belittled, being directed at every turn at work. But a lot of women do not desire to be entrepreneurs. They don't want the stress of uneven checks. They don't want the stress of having to necessarily be their own boss. They want their income to be stable. They want their work hours to be regular, and they don't want to have to manage a million different tasks in the day like entrepreneurs. So the best of both worlds is intrapreneurship, the ability to be able to build your own career path, to build your own autonomy, to build your own flexibility, basically to build your own infrastructure inside of an established organization. This is the cheat code, intrapreneurship, the ability to be able to essentially be your own boss, to direct your own work, to have the autonomy and flexibility that you desire, but also to have the stability and the structure of a larger organization. And so today, in today's live, I'm going to talk a little bit about what entrepreneurship is and how to build a career based on entrepreneurship principles. These are strategies that I teach in my Mentor Me Mastermind, and I'm accepting new mentees into that 6-month mastermind experience right now. So if you are a professional woman who's at the mid-level or senior level, you have more than 3 years of professional working experience across any industry, and you want to learn more about entrepreneurship and how to have an entrepreneur's mindset inside of an established organization, then this live and the mastermind is for you. I invite you to pull out a notebook, to turn up the volume, to take notes, to plug all the way into today's conversation because it's going to be a good one, and to apply to join the mastermind today. You can apply to join the mastermind on my website at mentor-me.org. That's mentor-me.org. And also feel free to DM me if you learn something in today's live about entrepreneurship and you want to learn more. So let's dive into this conversation. So first we want to talk kind of about what entrepreneurship is, right? So entrepreneurship is the idea of taking entrepreneurial principles and folding them into an established existing organization. So for example, a big part of the entrepreneurship mindset, or how entrepreneurs work, is that they are willing to test things. They don't know if something is going to work. They don't know if their idea, their concept, their strategy is going to work, but they are willing to test things. They're willing to try things. They're willing to do a pilot to get some initial funding and try something out. And so that strategy, for example, your ability to try something, to test something, to pilot something, to consider not a full-fledged project or standing up a whole initiative, but your willingness to just try something, to test something, to see if something works. That's an entrepreneur mindset that you can apply inside of an existing organization. And let me give you an example. One of the biggest things that I think keeps women stuck in low-level, low-paying jobs is that they're not willing to test things. They're not willing to try things. I've talked about this on a reel that I recently did, where a big part of what happens with high achieving professional women is that they get stuck in perfectionism. It's like, if I don't know exactly what I'm doing, if I'm not the expert, if I don't have a PhD and 17 certificates in something, I'm not going to test it. I'm not going to try it. I'm not going to, consider a different pathway. I'm only going to do what I know how to do, things that I'm an absolute expert in. And if I'm not an absolute expert, then I'm not going to do it. Well, that's a very limiting mindset, because employers are excited to pay their top employees who are innovators, who are creative thinkers, who are, driving change in an organization, right? They're excited to pay those people top dollar and promote them in the organization when they're willing to do that. But if you, sis, are over here stuck on scared, stuck on, I don't know if I can do it, stuck on, I'm not sure if it's going to work out for me, stuck on all of that. If you're stuck on that, you're going to have a much harder time advancing in an organization. You're going to have a much harder time making more money and having more impact and advancing your career. But if you take an entrepreneur mindset, this idea that I'm going to pilot this for 3 months. I'm going to pilot this for the next semester. I'm going to pilot this for Q3. I just need some initial seed funding. I want to test this. I want to work this through. I want to get this in front of our clients and customers and see if this works. If you're willing to test something, to pilot something, to consider a different perspective, even for a short time, that's you taking the entrepreneurship mindset. That's you taking that way of thinking, that creative and flexible way of thinking, and bringing it into organizations. That's what makes the best of both worlds, right? And I will tell you that this is something that I do every day. I am both a full-time employee in higher education. I'm a senior director of student affairs at a large Research One institution. I've been with my institution for more than 5 years. I'm a senior member of the leadership team. I work every day, in my field. I also am a full-time entrepreneur. I run a full-fledged professional development company for women, right? So I have both an entrepreneurship mindset and an employee mindset. And I use both of them to become an entrepreneur, to thrive in my career, leveraging my entrepreneurial mindset at work. Right? And my job as a mentor is to teach other women how to do the same, because I know that that's where the magic is. That's where the best of both worlds is. And one of the things that I often say is that entrepreneurship will not save you, right? Like, I think that sometimes when women get fed up at work, they're like, I'm just going to be my own boss. I'm just going to start a business. I'm just going to, go out and start selling my t-shirts, or I'm going to go out and start, painting and selling my paintings. And I'm going to go out and start a speaking career. Like, right. We start to get in our fifis about work, and we're just like, I'm just going to go out and start my own business, which is fine, right? Like, I'm team you starting your own business. I believe in that, sis. So excited for you. And being an entrepreneur will absolutely not solve all of your problems. In fact, I will tell you, as a woman who does both, being an entrepreneur is way harder than working every day. Being an entrepreneur is way harder than going to a job every day. Being an entrepreneur is way more challenging than supervising my staff at work every day, right? It's much, much, much harder. But the best of both worlds is intrapreneurship, right? Where we can take an entrepreneurial mindset, where we can take an entrepreneurial approach, where we can take the best parts of entrepreneurship, that creative and flexible thinking, that innovative nature, that willingness to pilot, to fail, to try something, to pivot, to shift. We can take the best of entrepreneurship and apply it to the work that we do every day. So that's principle number one. Is that you can take a principle like piloting, like testing, like trying something out and implement it at work, right? You don't have to know everything at work. You don't have to be an expert at everything. You can say, based on, what I've researched, you can say, based on what I've seen in the market, based on what I'm hearing from our clients, from our customers, from our students, from our stakeholders, based on what I'm seeing from the staff, this is my recommendation. This is how I think we should do this. And I think we should try it out for 3 months, test it, see if it works. And if it doesn't work, we'll stop doing it. If it does work, we'll keep doing it. We'll replicate it, right? And so that is an entrepreneur mindset that we can bring into the world of work, that really will help position you as a high-level professional, right? That's the difference between, where's the manual? I just need to know what the manual says, or I just need to know how to do it. That's the difference between the people who are going to be in low paying, low level, low impact jobs, who are just waiting on the manual, who are just waiting on instructions, who are just waiting on someone to tell them what to do, and the person who's actually elevating in their career and, being a creative thinker and driving change in the organization based on their ability to be agile, to be a flexible thinker, to be able to drive change in the organization, even when they don't have a manual on how to do so, right? And that's what makes entrepreneurship so special. I think another principle of entrepreneurship, and every entrepreneur will tell you this, is that it requires collaboration and delegation. I am not team solo dolo. I am not team I can do everything by myself. I am not team I'm gonna put it on my back and I'm gonna carry us all the way. Like, that is not my methodology. That is not my strategy. That is not the way I live my life. In fact, my little sister often teases me because she's always like, Ashley, you don't never want to do nothing by yourself. You're right. Why would I do it by myself when we can do it together? Why would I go by myself when we can go together? Like, let's go together. I believe in go together, grow together, right? And so that's a principle from entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are often collaborating. They're often co-working. They're often bringing on, temp hires and contract workers and other people to do things for them. They're often delegating parts of their business to outsiders to make sure, or systems or processes, right? To make sure that things flow smoothly. The same thing should be happening in your work, right? You should not be doing everything. You should not be a team of one. You should not be putting everything on your back. The intrapreneur model means that you would be hiring temporary work, that you would be temporary workers, that you would be leveraging systems, software, some outside entity to do some of the work, right? Like, you wouldn't be managing everything by yourself. And I think that sometimes, again, ego can really get in the way, with this idea that I got to do everything by myself. There's nobody to help me. I just got to put it on my back. Like, that is a lie from the pits of hell. Like, you need to take an entrepreneur mindset, which means I need to partner. I need to collaborate. I need to co-work. We might need to, barter and swap work, right? Like, there's opportunities to just get additional support and have a more comprehensive approach rather than I can just do everything myself. Those two principles, your willingness to test, to pilot, to consider a different perspective, and your willingness to get help, to delegate, to infuse other people in your work, that's an entrepreneur mindset. And that's what makes work the best of both worlds. No longer do you feel like you have to be superwoman, that you have to put everything on your back. No longer do you feel like, I have to figure this out on my own. No one's going to help me. You can actually get the help that you need, bring your great ideas to the forefront and get things done at work, but also feel support, have the support of a larger organization. Know that the check is going to clear every Friday or, at the end of every month or whatever. And I think that what I've seen in my own career is that my background in entrepreneurship, right? The fact that I own a business has only elevated my experience at work, right? When I take my entrepreneurship mindset and I bring it into my workplace, that's the best of both worlds. People, are like, oh, Ashley, that's so innovative. Oh, that's so creative. Oh, we hadn't considered that. Oh, thanks for that insight. Like, that is really elevated my career. And if you are ready for career elevation, if you need some insight in how to just think more strategically about your career and your career from the long term, this is the right place for you. Mentor Me Mastermind is the right place for you. So I absolutely invite you into mentorship. I invite you to join the program. You can do so right on my website at mentor-me.org/mastermind. That's mentor-me.org/mastermind. I'm accepting new mentees through Friday, and I invite you to join the mastermind today. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know what you think about this idea of entrepreneurship. Do you think that you could leverage this? Do you think that it's a good idea for you to consider? Do you think that there are different ways that you can be more entrepreneurial in your work? Let me know. Feel free to shoot me a DM. I want to hear from you. And thanks again for watching. Bye.